To whom am I speaking with now?
Danger. The emergency destruct system is now activated. The ship will detonate in T-minus 10 minutes. The option to override automatic detonation expires in T-minus 5 minutes.
Hey guys, Rocko here. Welcome to the Split movie review. Okay, so Split from M. Night Shyamalan starring James McAvoy. Now this is going to be a Sgt Rocko review. I'm never going to get into the stage where I'm doing like new stuff and bouncing around and doing all that sort of stuff. I want to give you guys an honest review, nice and short. Go to the fucking cinemas or wait for it to come out on Blu-ray, whatever pleases your fancy. For those of you guys who haven't seen the trailer, it's probably a good thing for this one because it's going to leave a couple of moments that we who have seen the trailers knew about and had seen in the trailers. So yeah, you're going to absolutely love the twist at the start, definitely. All sorts of things like that you're going to love. Let's talk about Shyamalan first. Quickly, he's one of my favourite directors fucking ever. If it wasn't before this film, definitely is 100% now. So I love Sixth Sense, love Signs, loved Unbreakable, just loved Unbreakable, right? We all know what Shyamalan's like when it comes to twist endings and twists and all that sort of stuff. So, of course, there's going to be a few twists and turns. It's a thriller. Definitely concerns some kidnapping. I wouldn't go ahead and say it's not very gory at all, so there's no real blood and guts in it, so you can have some good fun with people, you know, up to a certain age for this film. And it's more than just your normal, you know, it's definitely not a killer stalking people and torturing them. It's not a Hostel, it's not a Wolf Creek, it's not a Cabin in the Woods, it's nothing like that. It's more of like a real tale of, yeah, shit that could go wrong with a split personality living in your town. That being said, it's a great movie. Anyone that likes a thriller and likes to keep guessing, it definitely kept me going all the way through it. Like, even though I love Shyamalan and I'm always waiting for a twist at the end, I try not to ever pick a twist, especially with a Shyamalan film. Like, I like to let it wash over me, you know, like Sixth Sense, there's no way I picked that, there's no way I could have. I must admit, Signs for me, when I was watching Signs, I really thought right up until the end, I was determined not to let Shyamalan fool me, so I was determined right up the end that it was all fake. It was all in their heads, like the hand that come under the door and got the fingernails cut off. I thought, well, that could just be a freaky person that lives in their house, right? Like, I was blocking out all the signs, right? To the fact that I thought the whole movie was going to be about these guys are all panicking. It's like a not a living dead situation. They're all going crazy and barricading themselves and all that, and there's not really actually any aliens out there. And of course, spoiler alert for Signs, there's aliens. And yeah, they land. But then that, right at the fucking crux end of the fucking movie, the last 2 minutes, that's where your twist comes in. It's got nothing to do with the aliens being there. The whole movie is actually about things happening for a reason, with the girl that drinks the half glasses of water and that being the kryptonite for the aliens in Signs, as well as the Merrill swing away, the last words of his wife, and amazing. Signs is amazing. For me, Unbreakable was just... Unbreakable I herald as one of the greatest superhero films of our time. Now, it's not your traditional superhero film, but you watch that motherfucking thing and you tell me it's not one of the best superhero films out there. Especially superhero origin film. Now you can imagine if Unbreakable actually was made into a series, it would be, oh my god, my dream come true. It's just, yeah, I could handle it forever. And Bruce Willis, he could keep making movies for another fucking 30 years and no one would tell. Awesome, just recreate him in CG, I don't care, just keep making the Unbreakable movies, would have been great. But sadly we never got a sequel to the Unbreakable, so what can you do? I love that how in Unbreakable it turned out to be Samuel was the supervillain because he was the polar opposite of Bruce Willis's Unbreakable character. He was Mr. Glass, you know, the guy whose bones broke really easily, and he was orchestrating all the disasters to try and find Bruce, or find someone like Bruce. So I would say, guys, if you have to give it like a Sgt Rocko out of 10, which I absolutely hate to do because that sort of like groups every movie together, I would give this one an 8 out of 10. Overall, it was a great thriller, kept me occupied and interested all the way to the end. James McAvoy's performance, as his performance is in every movie that he's ever done, is beautiful.
Dr. Fletcher, it's Barry.
It doesn't seem like Barry. Barry is an extroverted leader.
Yes, I am.
So yeah, I loved it. I absolutely loved Split. Okay, now guys, we're going to get to the absolute massive spoiler warning. Spoilers, like, okay, warning time, but cue the warning! Okay, Split spoilers ahead. Now, Split, for me, the title now that I've seen the film has two meanings. Probably even more if I actually sit down and watch it again. 3 girls are kidnapped, right? One is a bit of an outcast, bit of a, you know, doesn't want to associate with the cool hot chicks. For reasons that probably, you know, a lot of people don't. From then on in, it's basically a tale of them trying to work out what they should do. The normal girl, or what you would say the troubled adolescent, the troubled girl, she believes in her heart that they should behave, and you know, they won't get hurt that way. Whatever's going to happen, still going to happen to them, you know. But if they behave correctly, surely they won't get hacked up or punched or beaten too much. He just seems to like, he just likes looking at good girls, like looking at young girls. That's his fucking thing, what it seems like anyway. Can't blame him on that one, but it's the wrong way to go about it. Anyway, so the other 2 girls, who is that almost the polar opposite, they just want to fight. They just want to jump him as soon as he comes in and go ape shit.
Someone's coming for you, and you're not gonna like it. You guys make noises in your sleep.
Shit. So it's really hard for them to sort of get a gauge on it, because just when they're ready to break and jump him and start beating the shit out of him, he comes in as a 9-year-old boy and he's like, my breath smells like cat food.
My name's Hedwig. I have red socks.
Like that sort of shit, and they're like, oh, fuck. James McAvoy, throughout the film, in periodical segments, is going to his psychologist. So he's going there and she's treating him for this DID, multiple personality split disorder. This, to me, is the first film in Split. There's 2 movies in Split. Split is 2 for 1. 2 for 1. 2 for 1. You get 2 fucking movies watching this one, alright? If you're a Shyamalan fan. This is where the genius comes in. So she's, through the split personalities, they're trying to trick the doctor, thinking that she's talking to someone who she's not. Anyway, all the split personalities have been suppressed by 2 of the major personalities, a woman and another one called Dennis. Those 2 personalities are keeping the other personalities locked away, as they call the Horde. They're keeping them locked away, and they want them to stay personalities like at the forefront of it. The real guy's name is Kevin. James McAvoy's real character's name is Kevin, the original personality. So what he does is he convinces the doctor that, or tries to convince the doctor, and she sees right through their ruse.
I'm going to take a professional guess based on the description of all 23 identities that live in Kevin's body.
She's like, no, I know about this, and I've heard other stories. And she's like, I could just say Kevin's full name and bring him out, but she's like, I won't do that. And it's a great tale of how doctors, they're sort of stuck, you know. They want to help the person, but they don't want to dob them in, because they know if they dob them in, they're just going to go straight away and be locked in a nut house, danged full of drugs, and nothing's ever going to come of them. Now, the backstory of this doctor is she's actually doing seminars and debates around the countryside, where she's going on sort of a tour with this new theory of hers, that split personalities, because of the pain that they have felt and how they take the pain inwards, creating another personality to deal with that pain. She believes that they can create personalities that have abilities that the normal person wouldn't. So such as, there was one story that they mentioned where there was a a lady that was blind, and she had multiple personalities, and two of her personalities who thought they could see developed sight. But when she would go back to another personality herself, she'd be blind still. This is the setup for the film. What happens is, about, you know, at the start of the third act of this film, you find out that there's a personality that's been suppressed that no one's really seen, called the Beast. And this beast apparently can climb up walls like a fucking billy goat, just on the edge of the thing. He can climb up walls without having to hang on to stuff. Apparently he's got rhinoceros tough skin and all this sort of shit. And the doctor's like, well, obviously that's just a story that these two hardcore personalities are telling to the rest of the personalities to keep them scared and suppressed, to keep them away from the light. In this movie, when a personality comes forward, they are stealing the light. They steal the light. So it's almost like stealing the light out of the eyes. You know, they must see the light in the fucking brain or some supernatural shit, and they go for it, and then their personality comes forward. Great, great, great. Shyamalan, great. But yeah, either way, this beast, nobody's ever seen. Dennis, who's the main personality talking to the doctor for the whole movie, finally admits that he is himself in front of the doctor, and she checks him on it, saying, look, I know that nobody's ever seen this beast and it's just a figment of your imagination. She asks him, have you ever seen the beast? And he says no, he hasn't seen the beast. At the end of the film, basically the girls have now been separated because they're causing trouble. They're all in separate rooms, 3 separate rooms, and basically they're all trying to break out at this stage. They're all just, they've realised it's fucking hopeless and they've got to get out of here. He's just nuts, he's flipped. And they've already been told by this Dennis personality that they're only a couple hours away from this beast showing up. And they know that the beast is just another personality, but this guy's going to fucking kill him, this beast personality, right? Anyway, Dennis is on his way out for the night. The personality, Kevin, is Dennis for the night and for most of the movie, and he's on his way out. He's met at the door by a psychologist who informs him that emails had been sent to her from another personality of his saying, Barry, saying we need to talk urgently. 20 emails all in the inbox. So this brings her to the doorstep. He says, yeah, no worries, come in. He comes in, they start talking about this beast thing and all this sort of stuff, and he says, oh, I've got a confession to make. I have seen the beast. I have met the beast. And she's a bit like, oh, wow, really? What's he like? She then realises at that moment that she has gone way too far into Barry / Kevin / Dennis / the split personality's life than she should have. You can see it on her face. It's a great moment where she realises, holy shit, I'm now standing in the house of a lunatic. She asks if she can use the bathroom. He says it's down the hall on the right, and of course he goes down the hall. It's very Silence of the Lambs-ish, where she's, you know, walking through the house, but with a bit of a twist. She almost preempts that she's going to die. She almost knows that either she's going to die or she knows that there could be, you know, people here kidnapped by him. So as she's walking out of that room that they're both in, she stuffs a handkerchief that he can't see into the hole where the lock slips into the door. Now, when I first saw it, because at that moment my mind was just going, like, I was just like, what is happening? Oh my god, this movie's nearly ending, this is fucking full on. So I thought she was gonna, I almost thought this is a dumb Rocko moment. Doesn't happen often in film, so I'm glad you're here to listen to it. She stuffs the fucking her handkerchief into that. Now of course that means that when the door locks it's not going to fully click. So even though it's going to look like it's closed, you'll still be able to just bash the door open, the lock won't be fully mechanised. I thought it was because of his OCD disorder. She was going to leave like a tissue sticking out of something and he was going to lose his fucking mind focus on that and she was going to escape. How wrong I was. Anyway, as she's going to the toilet she noticed doors with slide bolts on the outside of them. These are the same slide bolts that we've just been watching the girls trying to jimmy open with a coat hanger in their rooms. She opens up one of the doors and there's one of the girls laying there saying, oh my god, are you real? Are you real? Help me, help me, help me. Just at that moment, James McAvoy appears behind her. So what he does is he sprays her, drugs her and, you know, puts her on the couch. Then he goes out to the train yard and we find out the train station was where his father left. Now at this moment we also get the full backstory now of the troubled teen, and it turns out she was abused by her uncle in a very disgusting and seedy way. Luckily you don't see any of it, but it's definitely well implied. We also find out that her father passed away and the uncle ended up caring for her, so we probably can assume that this abuse continued, if not is still continuing now. So yeah, it turns very sad. Then we get James McAvoy, who is Dennis, going down to the train station. He walks into one of the trains, and that's when the real twist of the movie happens. He basically transforms, even though he doesn't change into anything. You can see he's contorting his body and fucking veins are popping out, and he's you know, thinks he's the Beast now. He's turned into the Beast in his mind. Various shots of him running like a fucking wild animal through the subway station, through the streets, obviously on the way back to the house to get the girls. There's a real cool shot of when he runs past a subway tunnel. There's two cops with a German Shepherd dog, and the dog starts going off its head, and one of the cops is like, "Fucking hell, it's an animal. He only barks like this when it's an animal." Your first clue. So when he gets back, finds the psychiatrist. She's just woken up, still half in a daze, scribbles something on a fucking pad, who knows what the fuck it is, and sort of like, you know, sees him standing at the door. You don't see his face at all, James McAvoy, but he does reach around and his arms are extremely fucking strong. He totally bear hugs her to death, just crushes the doctor to death, and her body drops on the floor. Gruesome as shit. Then we go back to the troubled teen. She breaks out of the cell. She finds in a security tape there is on the actual ground. The troubled teen this time is in the room. She is watching a lot of James McAvoy's video diaries of all the different personalities doing a video diary. She gets to one of the video diaries that's playing while she's trying to smash the fucking door open this whole time, and he says, "Well guys, you know, that's it, that's my video vlog for Monday," and he pulls his hat off and picks up some keys off of the coat hanger. Then the camera pans around and she's watching it. It's a great moment. She was actually paying attention at the right moment to these video diaries, and she saw where the keys were. So she gets the keys, unlocks them. She goes through the hallway and opens up the first door, which has the one of the you know, mean girls, we'll call them, in the room, covered in blood. Don't see too much. She's horrified and closes the door straight away. She goes to the next door, opens it up, and it's the same girl that the psychiatrist walked in on. And she looks up and says, "Help me." So she goes in to help her. Then she's dragged out of the room from an unseen force. This scares the shit out of her because she locks the door. Okay, long story short, guys, she gets to the end. We get to the end of the movie and she's found the shotgun and she's locked herself inside the room, inside a cell. Now, James McAvoy, or the Beast at this stage, is now stalking her, even though she's trapped really inside the cell. She's got about, you know, half a dozen shotgun shells, and she's using them every time he flashes in his beast-like manner between pillars and in the darkness. She pops a shot off. The whole time he's going through some crazy speech with a voice like this, talking about how, you know, you can't hurt me and all this sort of shit. I'm more evolved than you would ever imagine. I have more power than you could. Unlimited power! You know, it's a whole Emperor fucking moment. Then he's basically now walking straight towards her, saying, "You can't hurt me." And she starts, you know, shooting him with the shotgun. I have missed it out a couple of bits, but it's because I don't really want to totally ruin the movie for her. The main crux is James McAvoy / the Beast is everything that he said he is. He can climb walls, he does have rhinoceros hide. She fires off 2 shotgun 12-gauge pump-action shotgun rounds directly into his chest and stomach, and it doesn't faze him at all. Gives him a little bit of a hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo, like if you had a bulletproof vest on, basically. But doesn't faze him at all. He comes up to the bar of the cage, starts bending it, and coming through with his head. At this stage, she's backed up against the wall, absolutely freaked out, and at this stage, the Beast notices on her she has scars. She has got scars in her stomach, scars on her arms, and they're self-inflicted. Obviously, wounds that she's self-inflicted due to the trauma of being fiddled with, abducted, not abducted. Obviously, these scars are self-made. So these scars are, you know, from the pain and from, you know, trauma that was caused to her being, you know, abused by her uncle. Maybe continuously still abused by the uncle. This is the turning point and the twist in the movie. The Beast sees these scars and can tell that they are self-inflicted. And he can tell straight away that she's troubled and has suffered pain. And that's when the Beast stops. He stops opening up the cage, he starts laughing, and he says, "The broken." He says, "The broken." He's like, "They are the truly evolved." Can't remember it exactly, I've only seen it once. And he backs off. He says, "Rejoice, rejoice," and backs off and walks away. And that's basically the end of that movie. Then you do get another scene which I'm not going to fully give away, but yeah, there's a scene with the troubled youth, and you do find out something else about her uncle, and that's a great little moment at the end of the movie. Now, what we get to what I call the real twist of Split, which splits it now into, this is the second movie of Split. This is how it turns into 2 movies for the price of 1, guys. So, the film ends with a shot inside some unnamed, like, abandoned building or whatever, and it's James McAvoy, and he's pulling out, obviously, the buckshot or the shells or the shrapnel or whatever from his wounds inside a mirror. All of his different personalities are talking. The 9-year-old boy's like, "Wow, this is so cool," and all this sort of crazy stuff, as well as the woman's like, "Well, I guess we are what we believe we are." And yeah, then the little 9-year-old says, "Well, what do we do now?" And the mother's like, "Well, we let him protect us. He can take good care of us. So I suppose we show the world just how powerful we are." Now, it's at this point when the music switches. Now, I didn't notice it at first, but since I've gone back and watched it, the ending, I've definitely noticed it. And this is where the music switches and you get the last card of the film, Split. And it's like, whoa, that's pretty cool. Like, now, you know, it could even be a sequel with this nutter actually evolving into some sort of crazy fucking supervillain or some shit going around, you know, like a rhinoceros. So the final shot of the film, we come back from the title card and we're inside a diner, looking up at the diner's TV. The diner's TV is playing a news broadcast. The news broadcast is describing James McAvoy's crime and how the 2 shotgun blasts to the chest didn't seem to faze him at all. Also talks about him having over 20 personalities, and this leading the police, who are still looking for James McAvoy's character, to nickname him the Horde. Then we get a shot inside the same diner going down the counter and of the people watching the news broadcast, and one girl sits forward and she says, "This reminds me, you know, of that crazy guy that was in the wheelchair 15 years ago. They gave him a funny name as well. God, what was that name?" She slinks back, and there's Bruce Willis sitting at the counter. Now, so at this point, the hair was standing up on the back of my neck, and I actually stood up while I was watching the movie and was doing this shit, going, "Oh my God, this is so awesome." So what this is, guys, now, Bruce Willis sits forward and he says, "Mr. Glass." So that scene at the end there, and he sort of gives a smile like, "I'm going to have to go and deal with this fucking Horde James McAvoy fucker." And to me, that just made this movie so much more better than a lot of the things that I've seen in recent times. 2 for the price of 1 movie you're getting, and not only that, is you're getting a continuation of something that I really was dying to see, which was Unbreakable. So yeah, that links it all in. Basically, it's all in the same universe. The Horde is the next Mr. Glass villain that, you know, Dennis, which was it Dennis? I think it was Dennis. Bruce Willis's character was called Dennis as well in Unbreakable. Absolutely phenomenal, man. The music kicks in, and the Unbreakable music kicks in, and that's the end of your movie. So that's it, guys. That's Split. That's the spoilers. That's why I thought it was more amazing than it looks. And yeah, just wanted to clarify that, because a lot of people are like, "Oh my God, why the hell is he going so ape shit over this Split movie?" Well, that's it, guys. to me, it's, yeah, I'll always be able to watch Unbreakable and Split now back to back as a wicked sort of a superhero film. Even though you never get any interaction with Bruce Willis's Unbreakable character until the end, and they still don't interact with the bad guy. There's none of that throughout the whole film. There's no hint of it at all that I can see from a first viewing, but it's phenomenal. I really enjoyed it. I honestly, my eyes welled up just at how brilliant that idea was, of how you can have one movie and then just quickly at the end spin it off and make it also make it in the same universe as that. It was almost like what 10 Cloverfield Lane tried to do, but failed. What 10 Cloverfield Lane should have done is call their movie 10 fucking Mulberry Lane, right? And then when you got right to the end, you find out they are in the Cloverfield universe. Calling it 10 Cloverfield Lane didn't make any fucking sense, because for the whole movie you're just waiting for this alien thing to happen, and when it happened, at the end, it was all good. You know what I mean? It was like, oh, finally, yeah, wow, like, I fucking knew that was going to happen. Why didn't I have it for the whole film? Because I didn't want to spend the money on it. Like, yeah, I get it. This is the total polar opposite and the way it should be done. Give you a movie that you're going to enjoy, and then, for the real true hardcore fans, give them a little best post-credits scene ever. Fuck Marvel, fuck DC, M. Night kicks ass. This dude should be making just movies forever. Just forever. Just fucking make him forever, M. Night. Oh, please, God, just make him forever. I loved this, man. I can't believe how genius he is. Just give him the rest of the fucking money to make The Last Airbenders, even if he wants to do the first one again, because surely the studios fucked him on that one. There's no way a genius like this would have made Last Airbender like that. No way! I refuse to fucking believe it. This one was like, no, we gotta get the fucking, we gotta make the kids enjoy it. Surely that was it. He wanted to go dark. I know he fucking wanted to go dark with Last Airbender. And when they fucking tricked him into it, they tricked him, man! Anyway, guys, that was Split. That's a fucking awesome movie, man. Go and see that shit. Or get it on Blu-ray. Just buy it on Blu-ray when it comes out if you're a Shyamalan fan. You won't be disappointed. Hopefully this was some sort of a review and it wasn't just like a normal rambling Rocko video. Anyway, guys, that was Split. This is me. I've got it on pause. I'm going to go watch the ending again and fucking make the hair stand up on the back of my neck and be like, oh, they call me Mr. Glass. Awesome, I fucking loved it. Cheers, guys. We'll see you for the next one. Well, let us know if you want to see any more reviews, if this was fun or shit. I don't know, whatever. Cheers, guys.